tablespoon and a half of butter rather than any sort of oil. But if you wanted to use coconut oil, vegetable oil, your avocado oil, olive oil, it doesn't matter. If you want to use a combination of butter and oil, that's fine. I'm gonna heat that up on a medium flame. I don't want this to burn. As soon as it starts melting, we're gonna go in with the other ingredients. And my reason for starting with butter is simply because I want to give the rice dish a bit more richness about it, yeah? And since I am not a fan of brown butter, I may have communicated that in my other videos. What I'm gonna do is add my onion at this point. So that's one medium onion diced up. Just gonna move that around a bit, because with the onion in there, that butter is gonna melt in a couple minutes. When I start playing around in here, of course, I know people are gonna have issues with the spoon that I'm using. I don't understand why people get so angry about the spoon that I choose to use. Yeah, metal and metal, but small thing. Black pepper, yeah? And it's not just the fact that it's metal, it's the size of it. If I am comfortable using a tablespoon in my recipes and preparing my meals, I don't really understand how that is an issue with some people. And to help it along, I'm going to go in with a tiny bit of sea salt. I'm not going too heavy with salt because I am using chicken bouillon and chicken stock, which will both have a sodium element in there. And as I may have communicated with you all in the past, I'm just going to turn my heat down just a little bit. I am cutting back on the amount of sodium in my diet. I have 4 tiny sprigs of thyme from my garden. I also want some celery in there, and that is 1 stalk of celery from my garden with the stems and everything. The noise that you're hearing is my phone. I also do my TikTok and Instagram videos while I'm filming. Pimento or seasoning peppers, and that is out of my freezer. That's from last year's stock, and these are the sort of core elements of this chicken flavored rice. The chicken flavor is going to come later on, courtesy of the chicken stock and the bouillon powder that I'll be adding. I'm just going to turn my heat back up to medium, and I just want to soften up everything here. And the peppers, by the way, if you can source it, and they will be available at Asian and West Indian supermarkets outside of the Caribbean. That's where I found them so far. And they will have, they're also called seasoning peppers. They will have the aroma and flavor of a Scotch bonnet pepper without the heat. So this is why I'm putting it in here. It's been about 3 minutes since everything has been in here. The only other flavor, well, 2 other flavors you could technically put in here to enhance it a little bit more is some grated garlic and a tiny bit of grated ginger. I'm going to avoid those 2 flavors because I really don't want to overcomplicate the dish at this point. What I want to do here, however, is to move this over just a little bit, creating a space in the center. And this is where I'm going to go in with 2 of these packages. Each one, you know, it'll be about 2 tablespoons of that chicken bouillon powder. And the reason for adding it now, I want to sort of fry it or toast it in there. Actually, you know what, it's closer to 1.5 tablespoons when I add the second one. I am not affiliated with the brand, by the way, if you're wondering. Now is when I'm just going to scrape on the bottom there and sort of deglaze it with the fat from the butter that we added. And I find that by toasting the bouillon, any sort of chicken stock powder will work. I find that by toasting it here, it kind of enhances the flavor a bit. So this is why I went this route here, just to explain things to you all. I'm just scraping the bottom to remove some of the fond that's happening on the bottom there. And one more unique flavor of the Caribbean I want to add in there is, I'm not affiliated with the brand. I usually make my own, but I'm using some ruku, and that is usually used in stews and all of that in Trinidad and Tobago. And what ruku is annatto seeds, which has been soaked in water and thus the red color. There's a recipe I have on CaribbeanPot.com where I used oil instead of water for making the ruku, which I think I gotta give this a good shake. This is just one that my sister brought from me when she was visiting the last time. Gonna hit that a little shake, but it gives it a lovely color and flavor as well. But we predominantly use it in stews. So you stew fish, you stew, and you don't want too much, just about a tablespoon of that or so in there. And if you don't have the ruku or uku, as I grew up calling it uku rather than ruku, there are a couple names, and it's part of the indigenous culture of Trinidad and Tobago, and most of the Caribbean use it. If you don't have that and you want to use some smoked paprika, just a tiny bit, or if you have some saffron, the sort of, that's not petals, but the stigma, I think it's called, whatever it's called, you would toss a couple in there as well too. If all fails, you don't have anything, a half a teaspoon of turmeric would work as well. I turned my heat down until low, as I don't know if I mentioned it to you all. Are you getting it there? Mm-hmm. At this point, we're going to go in with our washed rice, and I have 2 cups of warm grain parboiled brown rice, which has been washed. Just going to move that around in there a bit. You know, and I know I'll get licks for it, right? But if I was being completely honest with you all, I would get better results from a dry rice, not washed. Because what would happen is, I'm going to turn my heat up just to kind of replicate that a little bit. What would happen is the rice grains would get toasted in all that flavored butter that you started with, and take on a whole new nuttier sort of taste and flavor. But I am from the Caribbean, so we wash our rice. What I could have done is drain it a bit drier. The other chicken flavor is going to come courtesy of chicken stock or chicken broth, either will work. And I'm going to go in with 3 cups of chicken broth and 1.5 cups of water. Just going to scrape the bottom of the pot because there's a beautiful fond on the bottom down there that I want to pick up. And then what we're going to do is bring this up to a boil after we stir it. I still got 1 cup of water to put in here, but you want to do with this rice, well, typically with a parboiled brown rice, well, for most cases, all rice, 2-to-1 ratio. So for every cup of rice, you want to put 2 cups of liquid. In this case here, I know this rice takes a bit longer to cook, so this is why I went in with the extra 1/2 cup of liquid. We're going to bring it up to a boil, and we're going to reduce it to a simmer. We're going to put the lid on slightly ajar and let that cook, and it's going to absorb all of that flavor in there. And papaya, I'm telling you. But once we bring it up to a boil, what I would recommend doing is, after it's been boiling for about 2 or 3 minutes, taste the sort of liquid there and ensure that the salt is to your liking, because this is going to be the perfect opportunity to adjust the salt to your liking. Later on, it will be difficult. Let's see, tiny bubbles starting to come, so I'm going to give that one more stir. And we don't want to move the rice after this. We don't want to stir it after this. But remember, I said you want to taste it in about 3 or 4 minutes to adjust the salt to your liking. And the reason why we don't want to move the rice is, and I've explained this in other one-pot rice videos, is once you start moving those rice grains around, what happens is when they rub against each other, that helps to create starch. That starch is what's going to make everything become rice pudding, or pap, as we say in the Southern Caribbean. Maybe just Trinidad and Tobago we say pap, I don't know. But anyhow, don't stir, don't do anything. So now what I'm going to do is put my lid on, boom, slightly ajar. See that space there? That's what you're looking for. Turn the heat down and let that cook for about 20-25 minutes or so. Also, if you're using any sort of white rice, whether it's basmati, plain white rice, any sort of other rice, I would do the 2-to-1 ratio, 2 liquid to 1 part rice. So 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of water, any sort of liquid. It's been 25 minutes. All of my liquid is gone. What I want to do now, without losing too much of the steam, is close the pot and let that sit for about 10-15 minutes, and then we'll fluff the rice. So I'm trying to lose my heat. Back on, leave it right on the same burner that you were cooking it on, because we want that residual heat to plump up that rice even further. I had an errand to run, so it's been sitting here for about 25 minutes. What I want to do now is go in with your fork and you're gonna fluff that. And I'm just gonna fluff the inside just a little bit, some of that steam to come out, because what I want is some chive. There's some chopped chive in there, and what that's gonna bring is a finishing note, a sort of a onion, garlic, sort of herbal note to the finished chicken flavored rice. Now we're just gonna flaky flake, sort of flip everything around like so, mix all of those, and you know that would naturally happen if you notice all of the ingredients we started off with, so the peppers, the onion, everything, while it was cooking and steaming, it would have gone to the outside, and you can see how shelly and flaky that rice is. Grainy, not flaky. Oh gosh, Chris, what's wrong with you? Anyhow, I do hope you all get an opportunity to give this one a try. It's a real nice rice, man. Again, chicken flavored rice, alright? So easy, nice and thing, man.